Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this is ReDIScover, a conversation where we travel through everything that makes up the essence of who we are and how to live authentically and imaginatively.
Here, we invite you to join us as we explore and discuss a little bit of, well, everything.
From Disney to cultivating your most authentic life to deepening your relationships and talking about the real stuff.
We hope you'll find this a space that speaks to you, encourages you, and brings a little bit of magic into your day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And welcome back to this week's episode of ReDIScover. Happy October. Can't believe it's October.
I know.
We are going to have a really fun and light theme for this month. Because, one of the greatest parts about October is all of the delicious things you get to eat. And one of our favorite parts about life is Disney World.
Oh, I thought you were going to say is eating.
Eating and Disney World. And it is the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World this month. So we wanted to tie that into our theme of the month and talk about something a little bit more focused than we have in the past. We've sprinkled this topic in other episodes, but we wanted to dedicate some episodes specifically to Disney foods.
No one's mad.
Nobody.
To bring back an old catchphrase, no one's mad. October specifically, I think, is a month to talk about food because not only are we getting into the cozier time of year and people are looking for comfort foods, but it's also Halloween month. And we are all treats and no tricks over here, kids.
Oh, yeah.
All treats, no tricks. And on top of that, Walt Disney World is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And in honor of its 50th anniversary, they just released this cavalcade, to use a Disney term, of new snacks and treats, most of which I have not even tried yet. And I'm sure, Jess, you haven't either. So
no, I have not been to the Walt Disney World yet.
The Walt Disney World. Yeah. So until we can try those things down the road, we thought it'd be a good time to pay homage to some of our favorite Disney dining experiences. But we got to kick it off with a little amuse-bouche, a little hors d'oeuvres, if you will. We can't just launch into a full-on meal. We have to first talk about Disney snacks.
And realistically, we'll probably talk about 50 different snacks in this episode anyway.
Yeah. So this is like our top 50 for the 50th, give or take a few. I mean, if you're going to sit there and count how many we actually mention, you have more patience than we do. But yeah. I think it's probably close to that because we have been coming to Walt Disney World for over 2 decades, both separately and together. We have discovered a lot of delicious things. Some of them are no longer with us. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. We will grieve and honor our long lost snacks.
As always.
But we have a lot of the same favorites too. And then some here and there that like you love more than I do, or maybe one of us discovered more recently or something. So
yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through each Disney park and talk about our favorite snacks that we would choose to get if we were to go visit. These are like, at least the way that I chose these options. When I go to the parks, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be back for a long time, or this is like the snack I want to get. These are the ones that I would have as my go-tos. And we also have a category for Disney Springs and Disney Resorts, our favorite.
Yeah, we can't leave those out.
Exactly. And like Kristen said, our long lost snacks will be at the very end. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And I think a couple disclaimers. One, this is so personal preference.
I have one.
Oh, what's your disclaimer, Jeff?
My disclaimer is I realize most of my snacks are sweet snacks. So if you have a sweet tooth, listen to Jess.
Yeah, I think that's actually true. You definitely have more of a sweet tooth than I do. I think some of mine are a pretty good mix of sweet and savory. So whether you come here every 5 years, you live in Disney's backyard, or you're planning a trip, or you're like me and Jess when we were in high school and we just planned fake trips. You can make your snack list based on these recommendations. We would be so honored. But these are our current favorites as they stand. And my other disclaimer is that these do not include any of the festival treats that you will find specifically at Epcot. For this episode, we're talking about snacks you can get all year round. So that's my final disclaimer. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So we are going to start, of course, at the Magic Kingdom, the 50-year-old Magic Kingdom. We are going to actually start at the back of the park for my top favorite snack at the Magic Kingdom. This was a pleasant surprise to find out that it was available as a snack option, because it usually is available only at Be Our Guest restaurant. However, this year I found out that the Gray Stuff Cupcake is available at Gaston's Tavern. And the Gray Stuff Cupcake is absolutely delicious. You need a sweet treat in the Magic Kingdom, so I highly suggest investing in this one. It's a chocolate cupcake with the gray stuff on top. And if you're wondering what the gray stuff is, well, it's delicious. But
don't ask questions.
It's kind of like a cookies and cream mousse, and they have these little pearl type sprinkles on top. It's so good. It's such a soft cupcake. It's not dry and crumbly, and it's very, I know some people hate the word moist, but it is moist.
I think the word you're looking for is moist.
It is, and it's so good. So just get one. Do yourself a favor and make sure to get a Gray Stuff Cupcake.
Yeah, concur.
So good. Yes. My other snacks at the Magic Kingdom kind of complement one another. They are both located in Adventureland, and they are some treats that have kind of a cult following.
They're for sure
Disney cult classics. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Citrus Swirl. It's kind of a creamsicle flavor. It's orange flavored, and they swirl it with vanilla. And out of the two, so I don't know. Ooh, it's difficult. I kind of have phases where I lean towards this one more than the other, actually. And that's located at Sunshine Tree Terrace. If you know the little orange bird, he kind of is the mascot for the Citrus Swirl. And then, of course, at the other end of Adventureland is the Dole Whip. We all know the Dole Whip, and that's located at Aloha Isle. And my personal favorite way to eat the Dole Whip is getting it as a Dole Whip float. So you get pineapple juice in the bottom, and then there's a swirl of pineapple Dole Whip and vanilla ice cream. So it depends on your personal preference. That's my personal favorite. I've done a lot of research over the years. And that's the Jess.
As an Adventureland native, Jess, I would expect nothing less of you.
That's the Jess preference. So those are my top 3 Magic Kingdom snacks.
I had Dole Whip on my list as well. My favorite way to eat it is without the float part. I don't love when ice cream gets really melty. It's just not my favorite thing. So I think the float makes the ice cream melt a little faster. So I usually do either the pineapple vanilla swirl, or they're getting creative. Like, there's sometimes just fun, unique flavors. For the 50th, I know they released a bunch of new concoctions at Aloha Isle, but I had the pineapple raspberry swirl, and that was delicious. And it's still dairy-free. The only thing that is not dairy-free is the vanilla swirl. So I like the vanilla swirl at times, but if I'm keeping it dairy-free, that pineapple raspberry combo is so good. But I have a few favorite savory snacks at the Magic Kingdom. One of them is one that I think is very shareable because it is a lot. It's totally a meal. And they have this all across all 4 parks. But for some reason, the place I always get it is at the launching pad, which is right over in Tomorrowland, right underneath the People Mover. And it is the jalapeno cream cheese pretzel. And it's just like a little spicy, sweet, savory, like tangy from the cream cheese. It's stuffed. It's like the Magic Kingdom's version of Super Bowl food. It's definitely substantial enough to like tide you over for a long time, but less substantially, yet still one of my favorite things, and people make fun of me all the time, but if you know, the giant pickle, again, you can find this all over Walt Disney World, but my favorite place to get it is either at Prince Eric's Market across from Ariel's Grotto in New Fantasyland, right where King Triton, his big statue is, or at the Liberty Square Market right over by the Hall of Presidents. They have giant pickles and they're like $1.99. And it's like the only vegetable you can find in the Magic Kingdom, really. So sometimes if it's a really hot day and I just feel like I need something to settle my stomach or to tide me over, or that like brininess or whatever, it really does like give you an electrolyte boost too. I think it's a great snack and it is so cheap.
In tour guide training, they actually told us that the pickles are good for you because they do keep you hydrated and they have some salt in them. And that was like a recommendation. And too, when I was going through my health issues and Kristen and I were filming the Frumpiness Begins tour, watch it on YouTube if you haven't already. That was one of the main snacks we got because I was on such a limited diet at the time, but it kept me going and hydrated and feeling good during the day. So the pickle is like a good hidden gem to have.
It's like it's like your underrated weapon, like in your Magic Kingdom arsenal. It really is. And then my last one is a really nostalgic one. I love to get popcorn on Main Street. Again, you can find popcorn all over the Disney parks. I just always get it on Main Street. I just have great memories of sitting and watching Spectre of Magic or Wishes or whatever and eating my Main Street popcorn. So that's really just like such a nostalgic nighttime snack for me at the Magic Kingdom.
On to Epcot. We are going to go over to Epcot. And
we're going to hightail it on over to Epcot.
Exactly.
I feel like we're doing a Stacy top 7, but like with food.
But with food. I bet Stacy would love this episode.
We'll send it to her.
I know most people think of the World Showcase as the place to eat. However, my snack that I'm mentioning, well, it's kind of a 2-part snack, is located in the Land Pavilion downstairs at Sunshine Seasons. And this is a long time OG Frump Days snack that I love. And it's
if you know, you know.
So in the bakery at Sunshine Seasons in the Land Pavilion at Epcot, there is a strawberry shortcake and a chocolate mousse cake. So back in the days of the dining plan, when we would always need to get a dessert, that's when I discovered these delicious cakes and I would look forward to them all the time. And now they're just a nice sweet treat once in a while when I make it over there. But both cakes are so good. The strawberry shortcake is layered with the cake itself and then strawberries and like a Cool Whip texture frosting. Super good, fresh strawberries. Love that. And again, the chocolate mousse cake, it's just a good textured moist cake, great frosting. That whole baked goods area at Sunshine Seasons, I think, is kind of a hidden gem in Epcot. So if you love sweets and you want to find a table in the air conditioning, usually you can find a table there unless it's a very crowded day. But I think that's a great place to go.
Yeah. I agree. And they always do fun new like seasonal things for the holidays and whatever. So you can always find something new to try. But those are they're staples. Frump classics, I would say.
They've been around for years and the quality has held up as far as I know.
Speaking of Frump classics.
Yes.
This is my segue into what will come as no surprise to anyone that my favorite snack at Epcot is school bread. From the Kringla Bakery Cafe that I just butchered the name of, the Norway Bakery. It's tried and true. We love it. We always have. We always will. We even attempted to make it. Do you remember that catastrophe, Jess?
Yeah, in 2011 or 10. That
failed. We failed, but we had a great time trying. And again, quality has held up. It tastes the same to me as it always has. It is a sweet bun, basically. For Americans, the best thing I can equate it to is like a donut, but it's not fried. It's not greasy. It's got cardamom in it. So it's like lightly spiced, not too sweet, because the custard filling and the icing on top with the shredded coconut are a little sweeter. So it balances it out really well. So if you
my favorite part is that.
It's also super inexpensive. It's always available. I think it's like $3.99 or something. Like it has stayed really, really reasonably priced over the years. But I think it has its own little like cult following at this point, and I think that might be my fault. Other than that, a couple of honorable mentions for Epcot from me are one, it's like super hidden and not a lot of people think about it, at the gelato shop in France, not Italy, France. That used to be the bakery that's now the gelato shop. They have a sorbet there. Now, the gelato is delicious too, but there is a sorbet there. It's mixed berry. And I was doing a no dairy situation, like pretty strictly no dairy diet for a while. And this was my way to get my ice cream fix on a hot day without consuming any dairy. And it is delicious. It's so refreshing, but it's not icy. My gripe with sorbet is that it's sometimes like icy in texture, and it's not like that creamy, smooth, satisfying thing that you want. This totally is. The texture is great. It's really refreshing. Again, super reasonably priced, and a great cool treat for a hot day. And then my last but not least for Epcot is a savory snack. It is over at the outside margarita stand in Mexico, not the one inside the pyramid, not La Cava del Tequila, but the one that's just outside of the Mind Pyramid. They're chips and guacamole. I know that sounds so boring and lame, and like I could just go to Wegmans or Publix and get a bag of chips and some guacamole, but this guacamole is so good. The chips are fresh. They come out kind of hot, and it's just delicious. It's just better than other chips and guacamole, and it's huge. It is super shareable. And again, if you don't want to stop and sit down and have a whole meal and you just kind of want to keep going, grab a margarita and some chips and guac and share it with your people. And I think that's a great little tide me over at Epcot.
That's what we did when we were filming.
Yeah, and it was great.
It was so good. Our next park, of course, is Disney's Hollywood Studios. And surprisingly, I would say I have the most snacks in this park.
Studios food game has stepped up.
Studios has just stepped up overall, and their food game just followed suit. I'm in love with all the food at Hollywood Studios that I'm going to list, and every time I go now, I want to get all of these in one day because I know it's such a treat to go to Studios. But okay, I'm just going to get started. So we've talked about this in another episode, but the Jack Jack Num Num cookie, this deep dish chocolate chip cookie, it is so soft and warm. The chocolate chips are all melted. It is just a high quality cookie, one that you definitely want to share with someone, but so worth the investment of your time, money, and calories, let me tell you.
Yes.
So, yes, that's located sort of near the entrance to Toy Story Land before you head in, right near that low-key Incredibles area where Toy Story Mania used to be. That is the cookie to get. Part 2 for me, this is actually a savory snack, and it's more so a sandwich. But at Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land, they have grilled cheese and tomato soup dippers. I'm just going to say I love a good grilled cheese. And this is a good grilled cheese. So if you are at the parks on sort of a cool rainy day, that's my favorite time to get a grilled cheese from Woody's Lunchbox. But really any day is good if you are in a grilled cheese mood. And I just love that it comes with a tomato soup dipper because every grilled cheese should come with a tomato soup dipper. I agree. So delicious. My next Hollywood Studios snack, it could just, count as a whole breakfast, but for the sake of the episode, I'm going to count it as a snack. It is the Ronto morning wrap from Ronto Roasters. And you have to get this in the morning before they stop selling the breakfast version. But this version is my personal favorite. We've talked about this in another episode as well in the Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I believe we have. Yeah.
Yeah. Go there for the full rundown if you want.
We will link all 4 park episodes that we did In the past, we've done a full deep dive into Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. We will link them all below if you are just trying to binge some Disney ReDIScover content.
Because we have some good stuff.
We do.
But yes, the breakfast version, the Ronto morning wrap, is so good. It's a sausage on a is it like a pita wrap kind of thing?
It's kind of like a naan situation.
Like a naan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very fresh. It's very good. It doesn't leave you feeling like super heavy at the beginning of the day. It makes me feel fueled because it has that protein, it has that carb, and it has that delicious taste. So if you are in Hollywood Studios for breakfast, that is 100% what I would go get. Kristen, you have your own favorite version of the Ronto wrap as well, don't you?
Yes. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has some bomb food, y'all.
Really?
Like it's very unique. They do have the quick service, Oga's Cantina, the bar, and then Ronto Roasters, which I think has also kind of got its own cult following at this point, and everyone's got their own favorite iteration of it. But as Jess said, they have a breakfast version and then they switch over to lunch and they do a couple of different versions of it for lunch and dinner. My favorite is actually the vegan one. And this is unsurprising because it's very loaded with vegetables and it also has chickpeas, which I love. It's still the naan bread or the pita bread. And there's this like creamy, like garlic tahini sauce. And then it has grilled zucchini, a smoky chickpea slaw, and like fresh herbs and stuff. And it's just, again, it can be hard sometimes to find a healthy snack or a healthy meal in the parks. It's become a lot less difficult than it used to be, but this is one of my favorite things to get at Hollywood Studios when I want something that's going to fill me up, but not something that's going to make me feel like sluggish and gross, especially if it's warm outside. It gives me energy and fuel, but also like actually has nutritional value, which I like. But I think it's really delicious. So if you're plant-based, or even if you're not, I'm not vegan, I just think it's delicious. And then on a completely unhealthy note, this is one that you all will associate with me and Jess from years and years and years ago.
Long-term favorite.
Yes. This is a from favorite for sure. The carrot cake cookie that used to be at the Writer's Stop and is now available at the Trolley Car Cafe. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is kind of like 2 pieces of carrot cake with cream cheese frosting sandwiched in the middle. So it looks like a cookie, acts like a cake. It's delicious. Who doesn't love carrot cake, especially in the fall with all those warm, cozy spices? And it's just tangy, sweet, delicious, perfect. We love it forever. It's huge. You can totally share it. Or if you don't feel like sharing, save half of it and eat it for a midnight snack in your resort hotel room with your Mickey cartoons. That's the move. Get 2 and then snuggle up and watch Mickey cartoons in your resort room and eat your carrot cake cookie. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
That's just like a divine moment of life right there. So moving on.
Jumbo, everyone.
Jumbo. We're going to head on over to Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I have 2 snacks to mention here. Both are sweet. Who's surprised? Number 1, when you are walking to the Forbidden Mountain, Expedition Everest, on that beautiful little pathway in Asia is a gorgeous food truck looking situation. And you will recognize it because it is vibrant. It is bright blue, has beautiful paintings all over it. They sell soft serve ice cream. It's kind of a basic treat that I'm mentioning, but for some reason, the soft serve ice cream from this specific truck is just so good. You get either chocolate or vanilla or chocolate vanilla twist in a waffle cone, and it just tastes fantastic. I don't know what it is about this truck.
Magic.
But it's really good. And maybe it's because Animal Kingdom is always significantly hotter than every other park. Maybe I just need to cool down when I am over there.
I just found out recently that Anandapur, which is the name of that like mystical kingdom that Asia at Animal Kingdom is based off of, and the ice cream truck is called the Anandapur ice cream truck. Anandapur, I think, actually translates to like place of delights or something like that. And I'm like, oh,
that's super cute.
Isn't that adorable?
Love that. Fact. And then the other snack that I want to mention is over in Pandora, World of Avatar, at Satuli Canteen, aka our favorite quick service Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
So good. It's literally blueberry mousse, and it's coated in a different shade of blue outer shell that's kind of melty and soft. And then on top, it has some passion fruit curd. And the flavors are just surprisingly delightful. It's very light and fresh and cool. I've gotten it so many times already because I just keep going back.
Yeah, I so agree. It's definitely a unique dessert. It's surprisingly delicious. You look at it and I'm sort of like, this is a lot of artificial colors. And then you taste it and you're like, wait a minute, this is amazing. You get the blueberry, you get that passion fruit curd, and it's kind of tart. So it like balances out the sweetness. That's a dessert I really love. And I was going to put it on my list before I saw that you put it on yours, because I agree. It's just almost refreshing. It's a weird,
it's weird.
Dessert refreshing, but it is. But Satuli can do no wrong in my eyes. And
Truly.
I am such a fan. When I was thinking about snacks at Animal Kingdom, I didn't come up with much, because I think what I do at Animal Kingdom is I sort of just eat around the quick services. Like whoever I'm with will just share a thing from a couple of places, like maybe Satuli and Flame Tree. I literally wrote, does Pizza Fari count as a snack? Because my sister and I used to get a pizza from Pizza Fari and just share it to tide us over until whatever was going on. I think because a lot of times when I would vacation at Disney, our Animal Kingdom day would be coupled with dinner at Boma, which we will get into on the next episode. But I wouldn't want to eat much because I was like saving my appetite for Boma. But I still am a believer in that Pizza Fari, like thick crust, ridiculous pizza that I know people have opinions about, but
my opinion is that it's delicious.
I think it's delicious, and it's timeless, and it's classic, and it tastes like my childhood. But as far as actual snacks go, I did think of one that I tried sort of recently, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was here. There's a little kiosk called Mr. Kamal's. I think it's on the way like to Africa from Asia, and they have these chicken dumplings that are sort of like the ones they have for Food and Wine at the China booth, and they're delicious. And it's just kind of a unique thing. I'm sure I'm forgetting something that I'm going to be like, oh, wait, this. So I'll have to go to Animal Kingdom and then like post it on Instagram or something. But
let's go to Disney Springs.
Let's go to Disney Springs.
Because we've been in the parks for far too long. We need something a little more chill.
We need a different pace.
Yeah, slow it down. My snack recommendation, wow, I'm going to give you guys all a sugar high at the end of this episode. But
everyone's diabetic from Jess's snack recommendation.
It's amazing the things I've consumed over the years.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm just going to give a big shout out to my body. Thank you for processing all of this sugar. Because I love it all and I'm grateful. My snack of choice there is a Sprinkles cupcake. When Sprinkles cupcakes came to Disney Springs in 2016 and I had just moved back to Florida, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I love Sprinkles. My friend Krista, shout out to Krista Rose 143 on Instagram.
She's an angel.
She is. We used to get Sprinkles when we lived in California together and in Arizona together. And then it was like, came to Florida, and the amount of times we went to Sprinkles that around that opening time was just insane. But the beautiful thing about Sprinkles is that they always have rotating flavors. So, I mean, if you sign up for their email list or follow them on Instagram, you'll see what unique flavors they have coming out. They do a lot of themes with the holidays that are going on, or they'll just do something random. Like they'll do a Friday the 13th kind of cupcake with like black velvet, or they'll do, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, they totally embrace like the holiday, the season. If it's international this or that month, like they've got everything right now. Jess, you know what they have right now that I really
want to get? Tell me.
It's this week only. And I'm like, I think I'm going on the weekend, and I think I'm going to get it. It's the Reese's peanut butter cupcake.
Oh my God.
And it's like it's like a chocolate cupcake, and it's filled with like this peanut butter mousse, and Reese's is my favorite candy ever. And I'm like, okay, same. I think I need that.
Yes. Oh,
and they have the ATM, and it's so fun to go to the ATM.
They have a Sprinkles ATM. So it's an ATM where you can get cupcakes from it.
Which is
Sprinkles
better than money.
Seriously, it's just a whole experience.
Yeah.
Another flavor they had was orange cranberry for fall. That one was so good. That was a few years ago. But anyway, so you can get just the regular cupcakes at Sprinkles, or you can get a Sprinkles sundae. So they'll cut the cupcake, the top and the bottom in half, and they'll put the bottom on the bottom. They'll put ice cream in it, and then they'll put the cupcake top on top. So then you have a Sprinkles sundae.
Okay,
I know, it's so fun. Definitely indulgent, but it's so good.
This episode is not sponsored by Sprinkles.
No, but I would love to be sponsored by Sprinkles because I'm very passionate. I think I love Sprinkles really for their branding and their creativity. And of course, the cupcakes are delicious. And people will argue like they're not the best cupcakes in the world. I think they're on the higher quality scale. They're not the best cupcakes I've ever had, but they are worth investing in my eyes. I think they're really delicious. So argue with me all you want, but I really think Sprinkles is great. I love it.
I'm not disagreeing.
No, thank you. No, I think they're really good.
I think people want to hate it. Here's my hot take.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
I think people want to hate it because it's so popular. And I'm like, maybe, whoa, let's just consider that maybe it's popular for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good. And I will say there have been a couple flavors that I've tried, and maybe it was just the day that I tried it that I'm like, okay, this was all right. But then when they hit it out of the park, they really hit it out of the park. So I'm like, I can forgive that if you're going to blow my mind sometimes. So
yeah. And you can try a different flavor every time you go in, and there's a whole case of them that you just get to see. It's
eye candy. Yeah, it's a whole experience. Yeah. They know what they're doing. Their marketing is incredible. It's awesome. Yeah. And it's a great addition to Disney Springs for sure.
They even have a song. It goes, I love Sprinkles.
Yes, I
do. Yes, I do. The best cupcake in the world. So if you want branding, if you want a good cupcake, and if you want a physical experience, go to Sprinkles Cupcakes.
They really said, millennials, we see you.
Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox now so Kristen can continue on with our Disney Springs discussion.
Well, it's shocking, but all three of my top Disney Springs snacks are sweet. And all three of them are like favorites. Like I will go back again and again and get these, and have gotten them, and will just continue to get them again and again and again. Number one is a chocolate chip cookie from Gideon's Bakehouse. Now, if you are an Orlando local, you know about Gideon's Bakehouse because it has been around for years and years at the East End Market downtown. And I used to go there sometimes when I was going to school at UCF because it's pretty close. They are intense. If you've ever had, I think the thing we equated it to was like a Levon cookie from Levon Bakery in New York. If you've ever had those, these are like that on steroids. They are literally more intense. They're literally a pound. Like each cookie weighs a pound. So when I'm eating it, I'm like, I'm gaining a pound right now, like at least a pound from this cookie. I do not care. It's worth it. And they're, again, branding. Let's talk about branding. Their storytelling, their branding, their ability to totally immerse you in this like steampunk sort of like Frankensteinish, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like Harry Potter almost. Like you walk into the Disney Springs location and it looks like you're in like Nocturne Alley or something like that. It's so cool. And the creators and the artists behind the brand, like every month they'll have a special cookie or a special type of cake or something. And there's a story behind it. It's not just like, oh, it's this month, so we're doing this cookie. It's like, there's this character and once upon a time she blah, blah, blah. And then there's this whole story around this cookie, and it's bizarre, but it's so ingenious, and they're all so fun to try, and you definitely can share them. So I recommend going and getting a few, cutting them up, because you can totally cut them into, like, if you cut these cookies into fours, that's still like the size of 4 normal cookies. So you're really just getting a cookie each. Of all the ones I've tried, I still keep going back to that chocolate chip. It's just classic. There's like a little sea salt on top, which I think is the best thing that a chocolate chip cookie can have.
A nice touch.
They're so good. And it is a little bit of a process to get one. You have to go join the virtual queue and then come back, but you don't have to really wait in line. You just go up to the cast member, put your name on the virtual queue. They send you a text and you have like 2 hours to go back. So even if you left Disney Springs or you went around and went to eat or shop or whatever, you can come back whenever and wait in a pretty short line. It moves pretty fast and then get in, but it is worth it. My other 2 snacks, both sweet. One is at Amorette's Patisserie, which is over by World of Disney. These like chocolatiers and pastry chefs are amazing. They're coming up with these beautiful little cakes and treats, and they're all gorgeous, but they're like so pretty. I don't want to eat them. They're also kind of pricey. Like, they're pricey for a reason because they're very labor intensive, but each thing is like $10, $11, even though it's just really a 1 serving dessert. But my favorite thing to get there is actually probably one of the cheaper things on the menu. And it's not too pretty to eat. It's a hazelnut chocolate crepe, and you can have them add, I think it comes with bananas, but sometimes I have them add like strawberries to it. And it's such a simple thing that you feel like you could get anywhere, but they're very good crepes and I love to get them there. And they also have wine slushies, which sounds weird, but is kind of kitschy in a good way. And they're fun and delicious. And I just love it. And then last but not least, my favorite snack isn't really totally a snack because it's from a table service restaurant, but you could totally just sit at the bar and have a glass of wine in one of these. And I'm talking about the olive oil cake at Wine Bar George. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much I love Wine Bar George. I love it so much. And the olive oil cake is, I'm not kidding you, Jess, in my top 3 favorite desserts on Disney property.
Wow. It's a big claim.
So good. It is
really good.
It's a little adventurous. It's not super sweet. And there are candied Kalamata olives served with it. And that sounds super gross to some people, but I am telling you, it is delicious. Do not knock it till you try it. If you have a shred of adventurous eater in you, go try it. So good. And I'm not going to let myself rant about it because I'm sure I've talked about it ad nauseum.
When I went to Wine Bar George with Kristen, we got it and it was really good.
That's right.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
So give it a try.
Give it a try. You never know. Might surprise you.
All right. So that wraps up Disney Springs. And what's more relaxed than Disney Springs? Disney resorts.
Yeah. And I think in our Disney resorts extravaganza marathon episode, we definitely talked about some of our favorite snacks. So we will link that one for you. And that is a video episode as well. So you can go watch it and see the enthusiasm.
Exactly. My top 2 choices for favorite resort snacks. Number 1 is the Magic Cookie Bar, which is located at Roaring Fork at Disney's Wilderness Lodge Resort, as well as Riverside Mill at Port Orleans Riverside. I always forget how to describe this.
It's like those like 7-layer cookie bar type things. There's it's like a cookie base, and then there's like coconut, and I think there's nuts, chocolate chips, like sprinkles on top, but there's like a sticky sort of like caramelly situation running through it, right? Am I wrong?
Is it like toffee, butterscotch?
Yeah, it's like toffee. Like it's all the things.
It's everything. It's magical, and I highly recommend it. Every time I'm at Wilderness Lodge or Port Orleans, I'm like, Magic Cookie Bars are here. Should I get one? And sometimes I take them to go and eat them later. They're super good. And then my other resort snack that's a favorite are Zebra Domes at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. They are located at the Mara, which is the quick service, and they're just in the fridge. You can just take a pack and go. And the beauty of that is that Zebra Domes are served at Boma, the buffet restaurant. So if you're just a fan of this really niche cult classic dessert, this is another one. You can just get it right in the quick service and just have the dessert without having to pay for the full buffet, which is awesome. And I also discovered too that they have a gluten-free version of Zebra Domes, and the base, instead of being more of a spongy cake base, I think that's what the original is. It's just a disc of chocolate.
Which, that's better.
I kind of prefer.
Yeah.
So go for the gluten-free version if you're a chocolate lover, like me. So
also same.
There's an alcohol in it?
Kahlua. Yeah, it's sort of like a
Kahlua in it.
coffee,
Yeah.
It almost has like a latte-ish vibe.
Yeah, it's
like
a very unique flavor. It's really good.
One of my favorite resort snacks is also at the Mara. So the Mara's just killing it, really.
The Mara is a hidden gem. If you need a resort quick service, go to the Mara.
We've said it before.
Yeah.
Broken records over here. One of my favorite desserts / snacks is at the Mara. It is the peanut butter brownie. And again, guys, I am such a creature of habit. I love chocolate and peanut butter together. It's
a great combo.
I just don't know what I would do without either of those things. And when you put the two of them together, I'm a happy camper. It is a Mickey shaped brownie. It's moist and delicious and chocolatey. It's a brownie. It's hard to screw up a brownie. And it has a peanut butter frosting on top, like a moussey sort of frosting piped on top. And they really just said a brownie is delicious, but here's how we're going to make it even better. And there's
how could it get better than this?
It's just delicious. My other two snacks are savory. Shocking. My second snack, which has become sort of something that like I can't go to this place without ordering. And if they ever take them off the menu there, I'm going to lose my mind. Actually, both of these are. And the first is the croquettes at the Dahlia Lounge. And the second is the truffle fries at Enchanted Rose. Now, if you don't know what these places are, we mentioned them in the resorts episode, I'm sure. The Dahlia Lounge is the lounge on the 16th floor of the Grand Destino Tower at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. You can sit indoors or outdoors. They have great drinks, a great wine list, and the food is delicious. The servers are incredible. Ask for Susan. Tell her you know me. Susan and I are tight. But the croquettes on that menu, they are just delicious. It's not a healthy snack at all. But then they give you this like jalapeno pesto to dip it in. And it's like spicy and herby and savory and so satisfying and delicious. And then the truffle fries at Enchanted Rose, which is at the Grand Floridian. I mean, that lounge has my heart. It's themed like Beauty and the Beast. It can do no wrong in my eyes.
Their food is incredible.
Those truffle fries, though, they come out hot. They're like thick, like steak fries. They're like the thick ones, and that truffle dipping sauce. It's just, you can't. It's delicious. It's perfect. French 75 and some truffle fries. That is like dinner done.
Before we go, we need to have our honorable mentions of long lost snacks because they still hold a special place in our hearts. You guys are not going to be surprised by the two that I'm going to mention because we are still talking about these like 10 years later. They were a very big part of our frump days back in the day and just a part of our, life. And I would say childhood, but we were like, 18, 16, whatever. So my two are number one, the cinnamon roll at the Main Street Bakery. I have so many memories from that, mostly from our trips together. And those cinnamon rolls were like blocks of cinnamon roll with ooey gooey frosting. They were so soft and they were so delectable. And there just is not a comparison nowadays to the quality of that cinnamon roll. The cinnamon rolls that exist now are a little bit too dry for my taste. I like a good moist cinnamon roll. And then my second one, which is our favorite combined. This is probably the cupcake of our friendship. The red velvet cheesecake cupcake from Starring Rolls. Rest in peace to the whole restaurant. But
yeah, like
we've talked about this a million times. The red velvet cheesecake cupcake was at Starring Rolls Cafe, which is kind of at the top of Sunset Boulevard, was at the top of Sunset Boulevard. It was a red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting on top, with drizzled chocolate and toffee bits on top. It was the best cupcake in the whole world. We would cut it in half and you would just see the inside. It was a vibrant red and just so delicious. The red velvet and the cheesecake frosting combo was an explosion of joy and happiness with every bite. So rest in peace.
I'm going to get sappy here for a second, but I think more than I miss the cupcake, I miss like going there with you. I miss that, like being in a little spot and sharing a red velvet cheesecake cupcake. It was a joy to eat, and the memories will stay with us forever. The red velvet cheesecake cupcake was at the top of both our lists, I think. Yeah. And I have a couple more honorable mentions. One of them being the old Napoleon that was at the old version of the France bakery when it was Boulangerie Patisserie. The new version, what?
How French of you.
Oh, thanks. The new version at Leal is not, it's not the same at all. It is way smaller, first of all. It is not as, like, it's not as flaky. The cream isn't as, like, fluffy and light. Like, nothing about it is the same. Nothing about it is the Napoleon that I remember. And my mother concurs with this. So I know it's not just me, because we used to get that. And it's just not the same. So I mourn the loss of the former iteration. And I also mourn the loss of the cheesecake brownie at the Boardwalk Bakery. There are still some delicious treats to be found there, but they used to have this cheesecake brownie that was literally a brownie with an equal ratio of cheesecake on top of the brownie. And it was, I mean, how can you go wrong? Truly. It's New York cheesecake and a brownie at the same time. Those are two, like, very classically Americana desserts, I feel like a New York style cheesecake and a brownie. And two things that I grew up loving. We grew up loving. We used to go to the Cheesecake Factory all the time.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah. It was just a really delicious treat, and it is no more.
Sorry to make you feel like, you know, those snacks are not available anymore. We missed out, but don't worry.
We're keeping it real.
I think we supplemented with 50 other options of things that you could try.
Yes. So now that you're either really full or really hungry, depending on if you ate before this or you just ran and grabbed a snack. Maybe you paused us about 3 minutes in and just ran for a snack. I wouldn't blame you if you did. We should give a little life update. Now, I will preface this little life update by saying I don't really have a life update for me. I'm still here in Orlando.
Well, give the general.
What's still going on? I'm in Orlando. I'm living in Orlando. I can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from my apartment. I am enjoying life. I'm a happy clam, having a good time. But one of us has some paradigm shift news, and I'm so excited. And I'm not even part of this, but I'm really so thrilled for I'm going to brag on Jess for a second. I'm so thrilled for Jess's journey, for her perseverance and resilience in the absolute cacophony of craziness that the last year and a half plus have been, and her determination and her trust that like this was going to happen. I'm just so excited. So Jess, would you like to share your news?
Yes. So I haven't talked about this on social media yet, and it's crazy because by the time this airs, it'll be less than a week away. But next week, I guess.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. So I know I've mentioned this, like, you know, in offhand, but Stephen and I are actually going to go abroad for an undetermined amount of time. But we have a really interesting lifestyle choice that we're going to pursue. So, you know, before we were thinking, you know, let's get jobs abroad and live abroad that way. However, now, you know, with the whole new COVID situation of bringing work on the go with you, we are gonna kind of take on an Airbnb digital nomad life and go abroad. And the plan is Europe for right now. So we're going to head on out, and we're starting in Rome. This is the first time I'm mentioning this on a social media type platform. Mm-hmm. And we're going to take it from there. We are going to stay in Airbnbs for about a month at a time and hop countries until we get sick of moving. But at the moment, I'm super motivated to go to as many as we want. And it's just going to be the dream. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's crazy.
And I will be climbing into your suitcase. So
do
a few air holes in there for me. I'll be good.
It's crazy. Yeah. So we've been keeping it low key in Buffalo for the past year and a half, and we have no ties to anything. So, it's kind of like downsize all your stuff.
It's now or never.
No any ties, and we're just going. And I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see how the adventure unfolds.
A suitcase and a dream, Jess. A suitcase and a dream.
Literally, I need to pack. So
that's stuck in your head for the rest of forever.
But yeah, so ReDIScover is planning to be continued. We are on our bi-weekly schedule.
Yeah, I think we should make that abundantly clear. This was not a setup for like, okay, we're leaving you now. Bye. We have months worth of content planned. Like, I'm talking, you guys, we've got ideas that will bring us well into 2022. We are totally planning to keep ReDIScover alive. We're just going to be recording with a little bit of a time difference, but we'll make it work.
We'll see how it goes. I'm so excited. It's crazy.
I'm so excited for you. It's a dream. It's truly a dream. And I think that you and Steven are both so wise to look around and say, like, we have the capacity to make this happen.
Yes.
And that's what life is all about, like seizing your chance. And, to quote my love, Brene Brown, like daring greatly to be bold and see the world and open yourself up to everything that experience is going to bring you, because it will change you in so many wonderful ways. And I'm so excited to live vicariously in that space with you and keep doing this as kind of our undercurrent to all of the changes that life brings. It's going to be amazing.
I look back on the past few years of my life, and as you all know, I'm very into like manifesting, scripting out your future life and all those things. And I think that I started thinking about, what would my life be like if I had no limitations, and like, could kind of plant the seeds of what I wanted to bring about in my life. And I think I started coming up with this idea in 2017, 2018. And I had this realization lately that I'm like, oh my God, this is here. And I didn't have all of these pieces years ago. I didn't know Steven a few years ago. I had no idea how going abroad was going to happen. You just don't know. And it took a few years, but it's so real. You can really create your life.
Yeah.
If you get clear about what you want and trust the process, and it shows up, and it's not always going to be the way you think. That's the thing. You got to let go of that. How is it going to happen? But I'm in total gratitude. Like, I feel like I'm swimming in gratitude every moment. And also, it's this weird combination of disbelief, but also total belief.
We are so excited. I think I can speak for our whole ReDIScover fam. We're so excited to stuff ourselves in your proverbial suitcase and come along with you. So
thank you. And thank you for holding up the Disney World side of things, because
got you.
Who really knows? I don't know when I'm going to get there next. And that's crazy for me to say, but it's nice to still feel connected. Disney World is home, and
it will always be here for you.
Kristen is a home to me
too. Okay. Well, now I'm going to cry.
It's a lot of emotion already. I know. I miss you too.
Think a year ago, we were sitting on the floor of your bedroom recording our first episodes of ReDIScover and wondering what the year was going to bring. And I love that ReDIScover has been a part of all of the changes, and I hope it continues to be. And on that,
rediscovering with Jess and Kristen.
Yeah, we are constantly, continuously, all of the time. And on that note, I think this is the perfect time to thank you all so much for coming along with us and letting us be part of your story, your day, and just being here for whatever conversation we decide to have, whether it's something whimsical and fun, like our favorite snacks at Disney World, or something, more existential. It's a little bit of everything, and it's always been that way. And it's just letting our imaginations run wild and see where they take us. And we're just so thankful to have a community that can get behind that, because that's how we intend to live our lives. So thank you for being here for that.
We're grateful for you. You guys are amazing and make my heart so full. I'm so happy to have you. I'm going to post as much as I possibly can on my adventures. And I have a blog called The Road Jess Traveled. I have a YouTube channel, Jessica Faye, and we'll see. I mean, I'm kind of thinking I might make some like travel type TikToks while I'm gone.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Do it.
That's the plan. So Jessica Faye 508 over there as of now. Stay connected with us in any way that you would like. We love to have you. We just want to give you a big virtual hug. And thank you for being here and for talking with us about everything and anything, and especially snacks.
I love that. I love that. We wish you a bon voyage. Thank you all so much for being here, for adapting as our lives grow and change and evolve, and for letting us be a constant in your life as much as you all have been a constant in ours. And we cannot wait to talk to you again in 2 weeks. Hope you're still hungry, because we're still eating at Disney World. And I'm excited for this one. It's going to be
delicious.
Yeah.
All right. We will talk to you guys next time. And until then,
I was going to say bye, but then I thought I should say ciao. Ciao. Bon voyage. Ciao. Au revoir.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of ReDIScover. Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Your reviews are what keep us going, and we'd love to hear from you. Join us every Tuesday for a new conversation, and let us know what you think we should talk about next. Follow us on Instagram at positively.kristen and at jessicafay508. And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com. Until next time, stay frumpy!